The rise of AI, I mean, it's undeniable, isn't it?
Completely. It's woven into almost everything we do now.
Right, from, the shows you get recommended to how businesses operate, and this massive growth, it just throws up this really urgent question.
Who's setting the rules?
Exactly. Who's in charge of this incredibly powerful tech?
Yeah.
And that's precisely why we're doing this deep dive today. We're looking at a really key event, the Global Summit on Artificial Intelligence, Emerging Tech Law and Governance. The acronym is GSAIET 2025.
Bit of a mouthful, that one.
Yeah, definitely. It just wrapped up in New Delhi, July 24th. But the crucial thing is, this wasn't just another conference,
Not at all. It was more like a launch pad.
Right, a launch pad for something pretty significant. An international framework called the New Delhi Accord on AI and Governance 2025.
That's the key outcome.
So our mission today is to really unpack this summit, unpack the accord. We want to pull out the key insights from the global leaders who were there.
And understand what it all means, right, for AI regulation, for governance, like globally.
Exactly. Think of this as your essential guide, your shortcut through the really complex, fast-moving world of AI law.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's set the scene. New Delhi, July 24th, GSAIET 2025. Who actually put this together?
It was organized by Pavan Duggal Associates, and they worked with the Artificial Intelligence Law Hub.
Okay.
And also the Global AI Law and Governance Institute, or GAALGI.
Got it. And why was this summit so pivotal? What made it stand out?
Well, I think it's who was there. It brought together a really diverse, influential group.
Yeah.
You had top legal minds, policymakers, academics, key people from the tech industry.
From all over the world.
Yeah, from across the globe. And they were all focused on this one massive challenge. How do we actually govern AI and all the related emerging tech?
Right. It underlines that this isn't just, say, an Indian issue or a U.S. issue.
No, it's fundamentally global. Everyone's grappling with it.
And the driving force behind it all, the sort of brainchild, that was Dr. Pavan Duggal.
That's right. He's a major international figure in AI law. Really respected. He was instrumental in bringing all these different perspectives together.
Okay, so you've got this room full of experts, policymakers, leaders. What were the main messages coming out? What were people really emphasizing?
Well, there were some key voices. Dr. Rajiv Mani, for instance. He's the Secretary for Legislative Affairs in India's Ministry of Law.
Okay, what was his take?
He really stressed the need for proactive self-regulation, but also advocated for what he called minimal enabling regulation.
Minimal enabling regulation. Okay, let's unpack that a bit. What does that actually look like? How do you stop misuse but still encourage innovation?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think what Dr. Mani means is avoiding really heavy-handed prescriptive rules that could just choke off development.
Right, because AI moves so fast.
Exactly. So instead, you set essential guardrails, maybe around data privacy, transparency, preventing bias, enough to prevent the worst outcomes, but not so much that you stifle the potential benefit.
It sounds like a very fine line to walk.
It absolutely is. A real tightrope. Enough control for safety, but enough freedom for progress.
Okay, that makes sense. Who else stood out?
And you had Dr. Rabindra Narayan Behera. He's a member of parliament in India.
And his message?
Urgency. He really hammered home the point that India needs AI-specific legal structures, and soon. He warned that if they don't legislate in time, the country could really struggle with the practical challenges, the ethical issues that AI is already throwing up.
So a call for more specific laws contrasted with the minimal enabling idea. Interesting tension there.
Definitely. And then Dr. Pavan Duggal himself, as the summit chair, he laid out 10 legal principles he sees as fundamental.
10 principles. Wow. Can you give us a flavor of one?
Sure. A key one was adaptability. He argued that legal systems need to be agile, designed to evolve with AI.
So not set in stone rules.
Right. Maybe laws with built-in review periods or flexible frameworks, rather than rigid statutes that become obsolete almost immediately. Which again speaks to that core challenge, regulating something that changes so quickly without killing it.
So these key voices, they really highlight the different angles people are coming from on this central problem.
Absolutely. How do you regulate effectively without stifling innovation? It's the core dilemma.
And the summit didn't just stay at that high level, did it? It got into the nitty-gritty.
Oh, yeah. They dove deep. There were 6 detailed sessions really digging into the multidimensional risks and responsibilities.
6 sessions. What sort of ground did they cover?
Pretty much everything you could think of related to AI and law. Trends in AI law, policy, governance issues, challenges.
Okay, the foundations.
Then specific stuff like AI accountability and liability. Who's responsible when an autonomous system makes a mistake?
Huge question, like with self-driving cars.
Exactly. Also AI cybersecurity, cybercrime, even autonomous defense systems.
Yeah.
Then fundamental rights, competition law, intellectual property.
Wow.
And
Okay.
they even looked ahead at things like the law around quantum computing, the metaverse, and how tech is changing regulation itself, reg tech, and legal services, legal tech.
They really covered the waterfront. It wasn't just a surface-level chat.
Not at all. These sessions showed just how complex this whole area is. It's not just broad principles. It's about very specific, thorny issues. Like, how do you protect free speech when AI moderates content? Or ensure algorithms aren't discriminatory?
And the global aspect was strong here, too.
Hugely.
Yeah.
Over 40 global thought leaders spoke. You had legal experts, tech specialists, diplomats, policy advisors.
From where?
India, obviously, but also Switzerland, Brazil, Spain, the U.S., lots of different places. It really underscores that this is a shared global headache.
Yeah, requires international cooperation, doesn't it? You can't solve this in a silo.
Impossible. The problems might manifest slightly differently, but the core challenges are universal.
Okay, so you have all these urgent calls, these deep discussions, this global input. Where did it all lead? What was the tangible result?
It led to the New Delhi Accord. That's the big takeaway.
The New Delhi Accord on Artificial Intelligence, Emerging Tech Law and Governance 2025. That's the full title.
Yep. And it essentially bundles up all those discussions, the recommendations that came out of the sessions.
And what's its purpose? What's it for?
It's intended to be a strategic document, something to be shared widely with governments, regulators, tech companies, legal bodies all around the world.
So like a blueprint.
Exactly. A blueprint for how countries and the international community might approach AI lawmaking going forward.
And India's role here seems pretty central.
Definitely. The fact that it was backed by the Department of Legislative Affairs, part of the Ministry of Law and Justice, it really positions India as a key player in shaping these global conversations about tech governance.
They're not just participating, they're helping to lead the discussion.
That seems to be the message, yes.
And the Accord itself, what's its structure? You mentioned pillars.
Right. It's built around 6 key pillars. We know cybersecurity and intellectual property rights, IPR, are 2 of them.
Okay, things like patents, copyright for AI creations.
Presumably. The other pillars likely cover areas we've touched on, maybe data privacy, ethical AI principles, accountability frameworks, how to foster responsible innovation.
Right, the core themes from the summit.
Exactly. And the idea is that these pillars will now inform debates and actual policy reforms both within India and internationally.
So this New Delhi Accord, it sounds like a really ambitious plan, a global blueprint. But what are the challenges? I mean, getting global agreement on anything is tough, right? Especially with tech moving so fast and different countries having different priorities.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge hurdle. You've hit the nail on the head. Getting broad international buy-in is challenge number 1.
Because everyone has their own legal system, their own economic interests.
Exactly. And different cultural views on tech and privacy. What India sees as minimal enabling regulation might look totally inadequate to, say, the EU, or maybe too restrictive for the U.S. in certain areas. There's no one-size-fits-all approach that will magically work everywhere.
So the Accord is a starting point, but making it stick globally.
That's going to take a lot of ongoing diplomacy, negotiation, compromise. It's a framework, a set of ideas, but turning it into truly harmonized, actionable global policy. That's a long game. It's a valuable step, but it's just the beginning of a very complex process.
So as you're listening to this, think about how these big ideas, minimal enabling regulation, or the call for AI-specific legal structures, how might they actually ripple down to affect the AI tools you use every day? Your phone, streaming services, maybe even things at work.
Yeah, it's not just abstract policy. These decisions shape the technology around us.
And what does this whole deep dive tell us about that constant tension? You know, the push to innovate super fast versus the pull to put up essential guardrails, legally and ethically.
It shows that balancing act is the central issue right now, globally.
So what kind of future do you imagine if frameworks like the New Delhi Accord succeed? Or what if they get bogged down in disagreements? It really makes you think about the path ahead for our AI-driven world, doesn't it?